Hare Krishna, Danda's pranams to all the devotees. Welcoming you all for today's Nityam Bhagavata Seva. So, on behalf of all of us, I would like to welcome His Grace, Premasindhu Gauranga Prabhu. Prabhuji, welcome to the forum. Prabhu is not new, so all of us know him. So, it's very nice to have your association again, Prabhu. So, kindly request you to go ahead and share the nectar. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danda's pranams.
Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for today's Bhagavatam class. And I am very happy and pleased to get the association of all of you. Yes. So let us begin with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Dadati Swapadadipam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamadam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Savana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Rajita Shri Vishakhantam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Gopasya Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Hare Krishna. So, welcome all the devotees from Bangalore, and today we are going to study the 17th chapter of the 5th canto, Descent of Mother Ganges. So, in this particular section, Lord Shiva is praying to Lord Sankarshan. And these are the prayers of Lord Shiva here. So we are supposed to study two verses, 17 and 18. So let us first read these verses. So this is the 17th verse. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankhya Nayanantaya Vyaktaya Namo Iti. So Shri Bhagavanuvacha. So here the word Bhagavan is used for Lord Shiva. And then Bhagavate word here is used for Lord Sankarsana. So Lord Shiva is praying, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Sankarshan. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifest to the non-devotees. Then we go to the next verse, 18th verse. भजे भजयारण पादपङ्कजं भगस्य कृत्स्नस्य परम्परायणं भक्तेष्वलं भावितभूतभावनं भवापहं त्वा भवभावमीश्वरम्. In this verse also, Lord Shiva is praying, Bhaje Bhajanya Aranapada Pankajam. So, O my Lord, you are the only worshipable person. For you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all opulences. Your secure lotus feet are the only source of protection for all your devotees, whom you satisfy by manifesting yourself in various forms. O my Lord, you deliver your devotees from the clutches of material existence. Non devotees, however, remain entangled in material existence by your will. Kindly accept me as your eternal servant. So we see here that Lord Shiva is praying to Lord Sankarshan here, or Lord Vishnu, and he is saying that you are my master and your devotees take shelter of you, and that is how they become free from the clutches of material existence. And non devotees, or those who do not take your shelter, they remain entangled in material existence. So, Lord Shiva is praying, kindly accept me as your servant. So, in this particular section, Lord Shiva is praying to Lord Vishnu or Sankarshan. And we see here what is the relationship between Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. So, in the 10 offenses which we chant every day, one of the offenses to differentiate between the glories of Lord Shiva and Vishnu, or to consider one as better than another. That is one way how it is translated in Sanskrit. Or so basically, Lord Shiva is also an aspect of Godhead only, although it is a little different, just like we read in Brahma Samhita, that how milk is transformed into curd, but it is the same aspect of Godhead. That is why to differentiate is not considered very good. So those who are very fanatic, they don't respect Lord Shiva, they will not get the mercy of Lord Vishnu. That is very clear. Lord Ram also says in Ramayana that those who do not respect Lord Shiva, they will not get my mercy. So since these two verses, they don't have a purport, so we will speak something about the Shiva Tattva today. And we'll understand what is the position of Lord Shiva. Once I had a question in my mind that what is the relationship between Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu? So, although they are the same persons, but they have their pastimes manifested separately also. We see that in Krishna Lila also. Krishna and Arjuna, they go to Mahavishnu. And there, Mahavishnu is welcoming Lord Krishna. So, although they are the same person, but because they are manifesting their pastimes differently, so there must be some relationship between them also. Then I happened to read a certain purport from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Srila Prabhupada writes that the relationship between Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna is that of servant and master. So just like we see that when Krishna and Arjuna they go to Vishnu, they go to meet Vishnu, then Lord Vishnu is welcoming Lord Krishna, just like someone welcomes a master. So even the relationship between Vishnu and Krishna is that of master and servant, because Krishna is the source of Lord Vishnu. So Shiva is definitely not Vishnu Tattva. And the relationship between Lord Shiva and Vishnu is also that of master and servant. When we read Brihad Bhagavatamrit, we see that Gopakumar, after crossing over the 7 layers of the material universe, he goes to Shiva Loka. And there, Lord Shiva is present, Sadashiva Loka. And everybody in Sadashiva Loka is worshipping Lord Shiva as the Supreme God, Supreme Godhead. So Gopakumar is not completely satisfied to be there. And then what happens that Vishnu Dutas, they are traveling in the sky. And Lord Shiva sees the Vishnu Dutas. He becomes very happy seeing them. And Gopakumar is asking that who are those personalities who are traveling in the sky? Seeing whom even Lord Shiva, who is the supreme person, he is also becoming so happy. So it is told there that they are the associates of Lord Vishnu, whom even Lord Shiva is worshipping. So, and these Vishnu Dutas, they look exactly like Lord Vishnu himself, and they have the same opulence like Lord Vishnu, and they have also the same residence that of Lord Vishnu. So Gopakumar becomes very eager to go there. That is how he leaves the Sadashiv Loka and he travels further to Vishnu Loka. So in Vaishnava theology, it is very clear that Vishnu Tattva is higher than Shiva Tattva. If we read other Puranas like Shiva Purana or Matsya Purana, then we'll see that Shiva Tattva is considered higher there. Because in different Puranas, different deities are considered higher. So in those Puranas, just like we say Vishnu Tattva is highest, they say Shiva Tattva is highest. Because the Vedas, they want to consider all types of living entities to take to the Vedic fold. They don't reject anybody. So if someone is not ready to accept Lord Vishnu as the supreme tattva, which requires some goodness and pure goodness, then the Vedas say, okay, so no problem, you take shelter of Lord Shiva and you progress that way. So some progress is thus allowed for even a person who is not ready to accept Shuddha Sattva. So sometimes Vaishnavas they become very very uh, they are hardliners, that no we don't worship Lord Shiva, will not go to any Shiva temple, and we only worship Vishnu. So with this attitude, it is very difficult to progress on the path of devotional service, because Lord Shiva is actually just like Lord Vishnu. So let us see briefly what is Shiva Tattva here. So in Madhurya Kadambini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains something about the Shiva Tattva. And also, in the beginning verses of Brahma Samhita, not the verses which we generally chant, 20 or 25 verses, but the first chapter of Brahma Samhita. So there, uh, it is explained, Shiva Tattva is also explained there. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains in Madhurya Kadambini that the second Nam Aparadh is to consider Mahadev, Lord Shiva, and Vishnu to be fundamentally different and to think of them as separate deities defined by distinct powers. So, since many people they have difficulty to understand these distinctions, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur goes into some detail uh, and he discusses this issue. So, when it comes to living entities or jivas, there are two types of living entities, those who are independent and those who are dependent. Or we can say that conscious beings, they are of two types. And the first is the Supreme Lord Himself, and the second is Jiva. So that is the first categorization of conscious beings, those who have Chaitanya or consciousness. So, first is independent, that is the Supreme Lord, the all pervading Supreme Lord. He is the Ishwar. And the second category is the dependent Jiva. So, a particular energy of the Lord which is controlled by Ishwara. In Bhagavad Gita also, we read that there are two types of Kshetrajñas. The Jiva is also Kshetrajña and Ishwara is also Kshetrajña. But Ishwara is the actual Kshetrajña. Jiva is not completely cognizant. Ishvara is all cognizant. So now the first categorization, as we saw, is Ishvara and Jiva. These are the two types of conscious beings. Now, when we see the first category, the independent conscious being or all pervading Lord, Ishvara. So, Ishvara, again, there are two categorizations. One type is untouched by Maya, and the second type uh, accepts the touch of Maya by his own will. So, when the Ishvara is free from the touch of Maya, he is called by names like Narayana. And Bhagavatam is saying that Sri Hari, he exists beyond the three modes of material nature and he is completely transcendental. Therefore, he alone is the supreme transcendental personality. Okay, so this is the first category of Ishvara Chaitanya or Ishvara conscious beings. The first is someone who is untouched by Maya. He does not come in contact with Maya. And he is called by names like Narayana and others. The second category of Ishvara is also there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, the second type of Ishvara, he accepts the touch of Maya by his own will. And he is called by the names like Shiva, etc. Shiva and other names. Bhagavatam also says that Shiva is always associated with Maya, and he is the predominating deity of three types of ego. So, there are three types of ego which are explained in the creation. When you read second canto, third canto, then in the creation there are three types of ego. Ego in Sattva Guna, ego in Rajaguna, and ego in Tamaguna. So Lord Shiva is the predominating deity of all those three egos. And thus, he is the main personality from whom creation is actually happening. So even though Lord Shiva is covered by three gunas, one should not think Lord Shiva as a jiva. In Brahma Samhita also, we have read that as milk is transformed into yogurt, yet yogurt is non-different from milk. So milk is the cause of yogurt. Similarly, Vishnu is the cause of Lord Shiva. Or we can say that Shiva is also a Ishvara. The Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the term Ishvara Chaitanya for Ishwaras. So two types of Ishwaras: one touched by Maya, that is Shiva; one untouched by Maya, that is Narayana. So when it comes to Ishvara Chaitanya, Lord Shiva is also Ishvara Chaitanya. He is a Ishvara conscious being. He is a Ishvara, independent. So although his source is Govinda, just like milk is coming, yogurt is coming from milk, that we read in Brahma Samhita. So uh, Lord Shiva, by his own will, for the purpose of destruction, he takes this uh, service of coming in contact with Maya. But is it that Lord Shiva only does destruction, or does he do other things also in the course of creation? Let us find out. Actually, Lord Shiva is not only doing the activity of destruction, he is also involved in creation and maintenance. Of course, his main service is during destruction. So, in the Puranas and many other scriptures, Lord Shiva is identified as God. One verse in the Bhagavatam says that Lord accepts the forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva for creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. So, Bhagavatam says the Lord, that is Lord Vishnu himself, he accepts the form of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva for creation, maintenance, and destruction. So we see that sometimes when the proper candidate is not available for the post of Brahma or Shiva, then Lord Vishnu himself, he becomes Brahma. So we can understand that sometimes Vishnu also becomes Brahma. Due to being mentioned together with Vishnu and Shiva, it is generally thought that Brahma is also Ishvara Tattva. Just like we discussed, Shiva and Vishnu are Ishvara Tattva. Of course, one is Vishnu Tattva, one is Shiva Tattva, but both are Ishwaras. So sometimes it can be thought that Brahma is also Ishvara Tattva, but this is true only when Lord Vishnu himself comes as Brahma. In other times, some Jiva takes the position of Brahma. So this is confirmed in Brahma Samhita also. The verse is there that the sun, it manifests some of its portion of its light in a mani, the sun crystal. Similarly, when Lord Vishnu is manifesting his power in Brahma, then Brahma can also be considered as Ishvara Tattva. So, uh, in the Brahma Samhita, we have read that just like yogurt transforms into milk, sorry, the milk transforms into yogurt. Similarly, Lord Krishna or Mahavishnu is transforming into Lord Shiva. Shiva cannot transform into Vishnu. So in one way, they are the same, and in another way, they are different also. So it is just like Guru, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastre. So Sakshat Hari Dharitvena, Sakshat Hari. So Guru is Sakshat Hari. Similarly, Shiva is also Sakshat Hari. But in one sense, Guru is Sakshat Hari, but in another sense, he is not Hari. Similarly, Lord Shiva is also Sakshat Hari, but in another sense, he is not Sakshat Hari. So this is Achintya, Achintya Bheda Bhed. The relation between two is Achintya. So when we discuss Tattva, Lord Krishna, first he becomes Balaram, which is called as Tad Ekatma Rupa. Then from Balaram comes the first Chaturvyuha expansion, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, like that, and Narayana. And then from the Sankarshan of the first Chaturvyuha comes Narayana, the Narayana in the Vaikuntha planets, whom who is worshipped as the Supreme Lord in other sampradayas. So that Narayana is coming from the Sankarshan of the first Chaturvyuha. Then from that Narayana comes the second Chaturvyuha. Now, from the second Chaturvyuha, the Sankarshan of second Chaturvyuha comes Mahavishnu. And this Mahavishnu is actually same as Sadashiv. It is also explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 6th chapter, which discusses about the glories of Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is also Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. So there also it is explained that this Mahavishnu is actually same as Sadashiva. So Sadashiva, he has the form of Lord Shiva, but actually he is Vishnu Tattva. So when Mahavishnu is glancing on material nature, then two rays come out from his glance. So I hope you are following. Okay, I'll repeat again. From Krishna comes Balram. From Balram comes the first Chaturvyuha. From the Sankarshan of first Chaturvyuha comes Narayan. Then from Narayana comes the second Chaturvyuha. From the Sankarshan of the second Chaturvyuha comes Mahavishnu. Now, when the creation is happening, Mahavishnu is glancing on material nature because Mahavishnu is Ishvara who does not come in touch with Prakriti. So it is the other Ishvara, Lord Shiva, who will come in touch with Prakriti for creation. So when Mahavishnu is glancing on material nature, Prakriti, there are two rays which come out from his glance. First is the Jiva Shakti, or all the Jivas who need to take birth, in that particular universe. Second ray which comes from his glance is Kala Shakti, that is the time, time energy, or time is Krishna himself. So Kala Shakti, Kala Shakti, uh, it affects the material creation. In spiritual creation also Kala is there, but it does not affect that creation. So basically from Mahavishnu's glance, Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti, they are coming out. Now when Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti, they mix together, then what happens? They mix with Prakriti. Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, which is the glance of Lord Vishnu, it is mixing with Prakriti now. Okay, so three things are mixed now. From the glance of Vishnu, Jiva Shakti and Kala Shakti has come and it has mixed with Prakriti. Now, when these three things they mix, Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, and Prakriti, a very special form of the Lord manifests. The name of that form is Shambhu. Shambhu is the personification of the three Shaktis. Which three Shaktis? Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, and Prakriti. That is why we see that Prakriti is the wife of Shambhu or Shiva. So actually, Shambhu is the original manifestation before Shiva. Just like in every universe, uh, there is Garbhodakshay Vishnu and then there is Shirodakshay Vishnu. Similarly, in every universe, first there is Shambhu, and then from Shambhu will come Shiva, and from Shiva will come Rudras. Okay. So till now Shambhu has come. Okay. When Jiva Shakti, Kala Shakti, and Prakriti are mixing together, Shambhu is manifesting, who is the personification of these three Shaktis. So Krishna is not in direct touch with Prakriti as we saw. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining in Madhurya Kadambini. But there is another Ishvara who is in touch with Prakriti, who is Shambhu. So Shambhu is in direct touch with Prakriti. And that is why he is not beyond the modes of material nature. Okay. So Krishna, he never comes in contact with the material energy, Prakriti. He does creation through Shambhu. So Mahavishnu is doing all the creation through the agency of Shambhu. So Shiva Tattva, he is not only for destruction, but he is also doing creation. Okay. He is also doing maintenance. How he is doing creation? So there are two types of creation, Sarga and Visarga. Okay. Sarga means the creation which happens before the birth of Brahma. And Visarga is the secondary creation which happens after the birth of Brahma. So Shiva or Shambhu is involved in the Sarga, primary creation, the creation which happens before birth of Brahma, before the creation of the universes. There Shambhu is involved. So just like Karanodakshay Vishnu, he enters every universe in the form of Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Similarly, Shambhu, he enters every universe in the form of Shiva. Okay. So Shambhu is entering every universe in the form of Shiva. So in this particular universe, the Shiva Tattva which we have, the personality Lord Shiva, is he has two aspects, Shiva and Rudra. So the first aspect is Shambhu. From Shambhu comes Shiva. Shiva is present in all the universes. And from Shiva comes Rudra. Rudras. 11 Rudras are there. And the 11 Rudras, their main service is annihilation of this world. So that is Shiva Tattva. Okay. First Shambhu comes, then Shambhu goes into every universe as Shiva. Then during the time of annihilation, Shiva expands into 11 Rudras. And they do the job of annihilation of this universe. So beyond these three, Shambhu, Shiva, and Rudra, there is another personality who is called as Sadashiva. So as we discussed, that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is mentioned, Sadashiva, he is not Shiva. He has the form of Shiva, as we know the form of Shiva in this world. But he is not Shiva, he is Narayana himself. So Sadashiva also resides in Vaikuntha planets. And he has no association with the modes of material nature. So during creation, Shambhu is involved. During maintenance, Shiva is involved. Who runs these 14 worlds? So Shiva is also involved in maintenance. How? Shiva is the deity of the eight elements. We also saw that he is the personification of the three energies, Jiva Shakti, Prakriti, and Kala Shakti. And especially, he is also personification of Ahankara. From Ahankara, all the different elements are getting manifested in Sankhya. So that is why we see that Shivalinga is made up of different elements also. Different places, it can be made up of different elements. So all the material elements, they manifest their qualities by the potency of Lord Shiva. That is how Lord Shiva is also involved in maintenance of this universe. So uh, maintenance is also called as palana. Palana or maintenance is of two types. One is material, another is spiritual. So Lord Shiva is not only involved in the material maintenance, material palana, as we discussed, that he is the personification or is the deity of personified deity of the eight elements. But he is also involved in the maintenance of the jivas spiritually. How? Lord Shiva, he provides all types of shastras, artha shastras, dharma shastras, bhakti shastras, even the Sangeeta shastras, music. Narad Muni was taught music by Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva is also the deity of the Pancharatras, the method of worship. So Narada Pancharatra, Shiva is teaching Narada. So without Lord Shiva's mercy, it is very difficult to understand and worship Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So someone who is a very mature Vaishnava, he understands that Lord Shiva is also Ishwar Chaitanya, or a conscious living being who is on the platform of Ishvara. But willingly, he accepts getting in touch with Maya Devi to perform a specific service. So that is why it is very important to get the mercy of Lord Shiva in order to attain the mercy of Lord Vishnu. And we see that in all the holy places, Lord Shiva is present. So whenever you go to any holy place, first you go and take blessings of Lord Shiva in that place. And then you go to the temple of Lord Vishnu. So in Braj also it is like that. There are four Mahadevs in four different places in Braj. So here we see that Lord Shiva is praying to Lord Vishnu as a servant, and that is his position. So although he is a servant, he is also Ishwar Chaitanya. And in their pastimes, they worship each other. We see that when Lord Ram is doing the pastimes as a human being or a king, he goes and he worships Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he always accepts Lord Vishnu as his master. So that is the loving reciprocation between them. And that is why the Vaishnavas also should not uh, hate or have some negative feelings about Shaivites. They have their own deity, they are following their own path, and Lord Shiva will take care of them. And we have our own path given by our acharyas, and we follow the process which is given by our acharyas. So instead of fighting or disrespecting, we should respect Lord Shiva very much. So that is the explanation of Shiva Tattva in brief. We can stop here. Any questions you can ask. So these verses don't have a purport, so there's not much to explain. The descent of Mother Ganga was explained in the Bhumandala section of Lord Shiva there. And Lord Shiva is praying. The Mother Ganga stayed on the head of Lord Shiva for many thousands of years. And now she's going to descend down by the prayers of Bhagirath Maharaj. So that is the section here. Lord Shiva is praying to Lord Vishnu. And because Bhagavatam is a Vaishnava Purana, so very clearly it delineates the position of Lord Shiva and the relationship between Lord Shiva and Vishnu here. Okay. So we can stop here. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, can you please explain how do we distinguish between God and demigod, Prabhuji? Lord Shiva and Mahavishnu falls within the meaning of God or demigod, Prabhuji?
Well, demigods, devatas, they are all jivas, and Vishnu and Shiva, they are not jivas, as we discussed earlier. There are two types of conscious beings. One is independent, one is dependent. So the independent conscious beings, they are called as Ishvara Chaitanya. So there are two categories, Vishnu and Shiva. So the devatas, they are all jivas. So sometimes Vishnu and Mahadev, they are also called as devatas because they are doing the some activities which are meant for the community of devatas. They are also doing that, and they also associate with the devatas just like they are one of them. When there is a function of devatas, Vishnu, uh, Lord Vishnu will go there with Mother Lakshmi. Lord Shiva will go there with Parvati. They'll also associate with them. So although they associate with the devatas, just like they are the same, they are of the same community, but their tattva is different. So since they have some activities which can be called as the activities of devatas, that is why, and they also are part of the devata community. That is why sometimes they are called as demigods or part of the devata group, but actually they are higher than devatas.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, you said Shiva represents 8 elements. So which are they, Prabhu?
So there are 5 elements which we know: earth, water, fire, ether, and air, and 3 are mind, man, buddhi, ahankar.
Okay. Gross and subtle bodies.
Yes.
He is the representative or manifestation, Prabhu. How we should take it?
He is the personification of these material elements.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Personified deity. You see, in this universe, even for inanimate objects, there is a personified deity who controls them. That we already know. That for every planet, every river, every mountain, there is a personified deity. So it looks like an inanimate object, like river, the water is flowing. But that it's a system, and that system is controlled by a person.
Yes.
Similarly, the elements, they are controlled by the agency of Lord Shiva, or he is the one who manifests. So that is why Shambhu is the personification of these elements.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. And Prabhu, regarding Brahma, Brahma is a Jiva Tattva, except when Vishnu comes as Brahma, Prabhu.
Yes, Brahma is a Jiva. Sometimes when a suitable candidate is not available for becoming Brahma, then Lord Vishnu will become Brahma.
Then we can say he is Vishnu Tattva, or we should say Ishvara Tattva, Prabhu.
Yes, then when Vishnu becomes Brahma, then he is Vishnu Tattva.
Vishnu Tattva.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I also had a doubt regarding this First Aparadha Prabhu, what we read was we should not equate the names of Brahma and Shiva with that of Lord Krishna. So you said both same, no, Prabhu? You should not differentiate.
Generally, what happens that there is a tendency for the conditioned soul to have one competitor or enemy in mind. If we are in material world, then we have some enemy. When we come to spiritual life, we shift that enemy or competitor to someone else. So, with Vaishnavas and Shaivites, what happens that because definitely Vishnu and Shiva are higher than the demigods. So the tendency for the sadhaka is that they see the worshippers of Shiva or Vishnu, the opposing party or the other party as opposing elements or uh, fallen people or someone who don't understand tattva properly. So this creates offensive mentality for that deity. The Shaivites, they might have an offensive mentality for Vaishnavas and vice versa. And this has happened in the history also. We have seen that. There are wars also between Vaishnavas and Shaivites, which is a very foolish thing. So actually, they should be the best of friends. So to avoid that offensive mentality, this particular offenses, I mean, this yama and niyama, they are given in Padma Purana.
Yes, Prabhu, that I understood, Prabhu. So when
So the exact Sanskrit in Padma Purana is Dhiya Bhinnam Pashet Sa Khalu Harinama Hitakara. So Dhiya Bhinnam Pashet means to see them differently. That is the exact Sanskrit in Padma Purana there for the second offense.
okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the very nice explanation about Shiva Tattva. So much. I was so ignorant, Prabhu. I wanted to just know what is this Sadashiva Loka, Prabhu? Sadashiva Loka. Talk
So
about.
Sadashiva Loka is a place outside the material universe. It is situated in the spiritual sky only. And the people who worship Lord Shiva, in that the worshippers of Lord Shiva also have two categories. Lord Shiva can be worshipped in Sattva Guna and he can be also worshipped in Tamaguna. So that is why we see that the ghosts and Pishachas, Bhuta Preta Pishachas, they are following Lord Shiva. Those who are doing some type of worship in Tamoguna, they are worshipping Lord Shiva. Also, all the demons for getting benedictions, they are going to Lord Shiva, Ravana, etc. So that is one category. And another category is where Lord Shiva can also be worshipped in mode of goodness. So there are certain sages who are practicing Ashtanga Yoga. So when you are doing Ashtanga Yoga, there is a process of Pancha Upasana. In Pancha Upasana, you worship either of the five deities. So the five deities are Vishnu, Shiva, Surya, Ganesha, and one more. Who is one more? Who knows that?
Lakshmi Prabhu.
Devi,
Durga.
Prabhu.
Saraswati.
Durga Devi.
Durga, yes. Durga Devi, yes. So Mother Durga. So in Panchopasana, it is considered that when you are doing Panchopasana, either of these five deities can be considered as supreme, and you worship that deity. And taking help of that deity, you try to cross over this material entanglements. That is the concept there. So what they want is they don't want to go to Vaikuntha planet because they may not be Vaishnavas. What they want is to merge in the Brahmajyoti. So to merge in the Brahmajyoti, they consider that all these five, they are manifestations of Brahman only. Ganesha is also manifestation of Brahman. Surya is also manifestation of Brahman. Brahman is manifesting in these five forms. So you take any one form and then you can merge in Brahman. So they might be taking Vishnu also. They might be having Vishnu worship also. But still they may not have the desire of going to Vaikuntha planets. So in Pancha Upasana, that is the concept. So certain yogis, they are practicing yoga, and in their yoga practice, they might take up worshipping Lord Shiva. And in Ashtanga Yoga, you have yama, niyama, so you have to maintain a very pure lifestyle, brahmacharya. So then what happens that slowly they are progressing on the path of, they are progressing on their own path. So their anarthas are getting finished and their subtle body is getting finished. They are going on the path of liberation. Now what happens that when the point comes that they are supposed to leave this material universe and merge in Brahmajyoti. So sometimes they might get attracted to the deity which they have worshipped, the form of the deity which they have worshipped. So if they have worshipped Lord Shiva there in mode of goodness, then what happens that they will attain that Sadashiv Loka. So they are also sages who are there in Sadashiv Loka, who attain that Loka. So the Bhuta, Preta, Pishachas, they cannot attain that Sadashiv Loka. They are only in this material universe, in the abode of Lord Shiva. So these great sages, they are attracted, very much attracted to the form which they have meditated over many lifetimes in their yoga practice, which is the form of Lord Shiva. So that Lord Shiva in Sadashiv Loka actually he is Vishnu only, but he has the form of Shiva. So that's how it is. So they go to Sadashiv Loka there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Kailas is also same as Sadashiv Loka Prabhu.
Actually, Lord Shiva has many residences in the universe, just like Lord Vishnu has many residences. So Kailasha is one of the residences in the material world only. Of course, just like we say that someone has attained Goloka after death. So in that terminology, it is said that okay, he has become Kailashvasi. So, but that world is called as Sadashiva. Kailasha is present in the material universe. But that is how in the terminology it is used like that. That okay, someone died and you say that oh, he has become Kailashvasi. Yes.
Hare Krishna
Thank,
Prabhuji.
thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Dandavad Pranam. Thank you for wonderful class, Prabhuji. It was so simple. You made it so simple. Prabhuji, my doubt is in Goloka chart, we see Lord Shiva in it is described as Isha. Now, Isha, that is in the spiritual world, and Sadashiva, what we say here, both are same, Prabhuji, or different?
No, I did understand. In
In the Goloka chart, in the spiritual world, Lord Shiva is described as Isha. Correct, no, Prabhuji?
yeah,
So now you said that Sadashiva is in the spiritual world. So are these two same?
yes, in the spiritual world, Lord Shiva is not there. Lord Shiva is only manifesting during the creation of material universes as Shambhu. And then Shambhu is going into every universe as Shiva. So the aspect of Shambhu, Shiva, Rudra, it is only in the material universes. In the spiritual world, there is only Sadashiva. So he can also be called as Isha, Ishwar Chaitanya. We saw that in Madhurya Kadambini also. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is using the term Ishwar Chaitanya for Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu both.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji. And one more question. Just now you said, Prabhuji, the people that is who aspire for impersonal liberation, but who worship Lord Shiva in a mode of goodness, they go to Sadashiva Loka. But
Yes.
will they come back, or because normally it is said people who aspire for impersonal or who go to impersonal, who get impersonal liberation, they have to come back. So this Loka, because it is in the spiritual world, will they also come back?
No, they will not come back.
Thank you.
They will remain there because this world is beyond material universe. So anybody who goes there, yadgatva nanivartante. Of course, there is a chance that they might get attracted to some sages who are going to Vishnu Loka, or the Vishnu Dutas who are traveling. Sometimes the Vishnu Dutas, they come and they meet Lord Shiva. So they might get attracted and they might get a desire to go there. That is possible. But they will not come to the material universe. So they are completely satisfied in their own position, worshipping Sadashiva. They are very happy there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just one small question, Prabhu. Prabhu, Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu is in Dhruvaloka, Prabhu. So similarly, Lord Shiva in material world, he is in different planet or he is on this earth, Prabhu?
Lord Shiva?
Lord Shiva. Kailas, we say Kailas, no, Prabhu?
Yeah. So Lord Shiva has many residences. So Lord Shiva is there in higher planets, on Bhumandala, and in the lower planets. Everywhere he is there. So in the higher planets, he is present in Brahmaloka with Lord Brahma. Then on Bhumandala, he is present. Now we read this description of descent of Mother Ganges. So there you saw that this Ilavrata Varsha, that is part of Bhumandala. So that is also one of his residences. Then in lower planetary systems also, there is a residence of Lord Shiva. So Kailasha is also there on the Earth planet also. So he is present in different places. Just like Lord Vishnu can be present in different places. Lord Shiva also has many residences.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Thank you very much, such a wonderful class, giving a very nice perspective of how Vaishnava should be respecting and seeing Lord Shiva's original position. That was a very beautiful explanation, Prabhu. I have one question, Prabhuji. This
Yes.
verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, in different places, when great personalities are talking, they are addressed in different titles. We saw that in Rudra Gita, he is not addressed as Bhagavan, but here this specific verse is addressed as Sri Bhagavan Vacha. What is the significance?
I mean, definitely he can be addressed as Bhagwan, because even the jivas who are empowered with the Lord's potency, they are also addressed as Bhagwan. That we have seen in Bhagavatam, like Narad Muni and all, they are addressed as Bhagwan. So why he is not addressed as Bhagwan there and why he is addressed as Bhagwan here, it does not have much significance. So here he's explained, he's given the title of Bhagwan, and there he might be called as something else. So it does not matter so much. Does not have a specific significance. So if he himself is speaking something, then in that way in those verses, then Bhagwan will not come. But if someone else is addressing him, then there is a likelihood that Bhagwan will come. So I think that is the reason why Bhagwan word may not be used in that section.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, understand.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, any other comments or reflections or questions? Thank you, Prabhuji. I think it was a very, very wonderful class and gave very clear. You gave a very clear understanding of how we as a practicing sadhakas should be, seeing Lord Shiva and how should we respect him. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
And today, if there are no questions, we will end today's session with the Vaishnava Pranam. Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
Hari
बोल।
Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.